very much. So we have a big winner here, trust. And then fellow winners are lead by example, freedom and empowerment, and empathy. Being super nice with you, telling you how great you are very often, or giving you a very big salary increase and bonus, or letting you do anything you want to, are not big winners, right? As compared to empowering you, coaching you, helping you improve your performance, right? So he could be Hellboy all the same, 2018. And of course, I am delighted to have on the program today, Mr. Gary Lim, the GM of Technip Engineering Thailand.
Gets your hand dirty, gets your hands dirty. And this is the first thing that when Jean-Francois was talking to me about boosting performance, I think as a leader, you need to get involved. And I see the comment just now about people talking about so-called the best boss, are the boss who really keen to know what their subordinates are doing, how to support them. And this is what I call gets your hands dirty. So in your team, identify who are the catalysts, who are the energy booster. And there must be some people in your team who are able to pick up what you want very quickly and a lot more committed. Focus and target on those few people because they will be your pillar, they will be your structure, your foundation to sell your idea. And you have to approach them, gauge their response based on the idea that you want to pitch in terms of the performance target, fine-tune, take in their ideas, and even you have to retune if necessary. It's just like, I would say, a kind of a soft opening of a restaurant, a pilot launch of or beta testing of a product. So at this stage, you will already know that you have established a group of supporters to your idea when you start to engage the broader audience of the team member. Now, during the workshop, you may even allow or encourage your network that you established to do the sales pitch on your behalf so that it does not always look that this is something the boss wants. This is what the team wants to do. Reporting is good, but mainly your team member would normally report what you want to see rather than what you don't want to see. So for me personally, I would do a follow-up, few level downs, communicate with the grassroots level employee, in a way verify if the message that we communicate with regards to the performance is properly cascade down to all levels of employee. I would say every organization, you have different type of, I would say, factor affecting the performance, but you have to find something which is sustainable. You have to dig deeper within your organization, looking at the belief, value of the organization, and build a culture of performance based on those values. Only then the performance can be sustainable. The challenge is never ending. And in real life, for us, it's even more challenging because we don't have off-season or winter break. We just keep on have to perform. So at some point, you have to burn out as a leader. And I think it's okay for the leader to feel tired, to admit that sometimes you need a break. You will feel demotivated at some time because of distractions, some bad result, that of some unexpected event. But remember that I mentioned about build your network, find the energy booster, the catalyst within your team, because that will be the time that you have to rely on your team to help you to steer the wheel and to continue I would say, ensure the continuity of the performance.
What would you say is Will Smith's catalyst? Yeah, he says, you've got to make a choice, decide who you want to be and how you're going to be. Yeah. And of course, for him, his catalyst is his purpose, right? His purpose is to embody possibilities. And that, of course, leads me to say, one of the first things we've got to do with our team members, right, is to help them identify their professional purpose, in fact, right? And by purpose, I mean the difference they want to make with their life and in their career to the world around them, right? So, because when we've done that, and we'll see later on, we can nurture very sustainable energy and help them boost their performance, right? So how do we do that practically? You could well start in this way, right? You sit down with them and ask them, hey, who do you want to be professionally 5 years from now, right? And that's asking them to spell out a vision for them down the road, yeah? And then they're going to tell you something, perhaps a tip of the iceberg, right? You've got to help them dig deeper and asking, in essence, Why, right? Until you meet a quality, a depth of answer that really qualifies as a purpose, a difference that this colleague of yours, this team member wants to drive for, right? A big difference they want to make that they will be proud of, right? And then you can start to connect the current job they have with their purpose, and perhaps you can also question them about their next career steps purpose. And the conversation could be just like, hey, thanks for sharing your purpose. I really feel for it, right? For example, your colleague told you, what I really aspire to is that with the family business I'm going to inherit in a few years from now, I want to make a great sustainable difference to the experience of our clients. Great. So let's talk about the mindset and the attitude, perhaps, that you're going to have to adopt when you do that, take over the business, right? And let's talk about the strengths that you already have that will make you great at achieving that purpose, right? And then let's talk about the developmental needs you may have, right, to reach that purpose. And also let's talk about that kind of discipline of champions and courage, perhaps, that you may need, right, down the road, right? So a very deep exploration about what can set them up for success, and then look at what they can draw from their current work environment, right? And there is plenty of opportunities for them to prepare themselves to take over a family business in any company, in fact, right? And there are also many resources outside of the work environment that they can draw from, right?
Again, I see pride, Junior. I see power. I see a badass mother who won't take no crap off from nobody. That's right. Junior Bevel. Where are you going?
Haha. So how good is that? Well, it's fun, right? The thing is, it doesn't really work, right? We've got to do something much deeper, right? We've talked about a few ways to bolster self-esteem in previous episodes of this series, right? One I want to I've kept for today actually is to actually invite quite firmly your people to move out of the victim loop, right? That's a loop where they can have either victim behaviors or aggressive behaviors, or even worse, actually rescuing, right? But anyway, at that time, everybody, and especially the doctors, were saying nobody can ever run a mile in less than 4 minutes. It's a given that they will die if they get close. Except Roger Bannister didn't believe that. He gave it its all. He thought, I can do that. He just did, right? So where I'm going with this is the power of beliefs, right? And the power equally of limiting beliefs, right? Now, what are common limiting beliefs? Many of them, right? For example, excuses, like say, I have put on too much weight, it's too late to try to lose some, yeah? Or negative thinking, it's too risky to trust others. I've been disappointed enough time. That's an example, right? Another limiting belief would be like making justifications, right? Hey, the economy is down. It's not the time to look for a career change, right? Or perfectionism. And in conversation with your team members, reframe them into performance enabling ones, right? So say a limiting belief is, I must secure everyone's good before my own. That's the way to be. That's the right thing to do, right? Now, that's a very limiting belief, right? Perhaps it can be reframed in to really help others, to secure everyone's good, I must first feel good, yeah? Another one is limiting belief, I must avoid mistakes. One way to reframe that is, I must maximize my learning. You've got a choice, yeah? I must appear strong at all times. Could be turned into, I must appear purposeful at all times, or I can't speak in public, I'm freaking out, well, what I can do is give people a good time to start with.
All your effort in bringing up the performance of the team, if you only focus on boosting the performance and not able to take decisive action on the underachiever, it will go in vain, and you'll waste a lot of time and your money and resource just to plug the hole. So the last point I would say is that don't wait to take action.
So the risk of grooming high performers is that they leave the company. What's your take on this?
Yeah, that's a real risk. Yeah, and there is a bigger one, right? The bigger risk is that if you do not groom high performers, then the company will die. Yeah, makes me think of a CEO who famously said, when he was asked by a financial analyst, like, why is there so much cost in your P&L for people development? And the CEO said, well, because those costs save the much, much bigger costs of not developing people. Yeah, we don't really have a choice. Yeah, and by the way, all the tips I'm offering in this webinar series are free of charge, right? They just cost your precious time. That's a lot, but at least they do not cost extra money to the company. And one important thing, right, is like the experience has shown for a long time that when, as a leader and as a company, you take care of grooming the performance of your people, and particularly high potential employees, they stay far longer with the company. Because now, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be a bit on the same topic and more, as we'll tackle the theme, reinvent your leadership with your artistic mind. There again, my invitation is scan the QR code to get your seat, right? That'll be Thursday, October 29th, and it'll be very, very special. We'll actually watch in action a number of world famous artists, some alive and some not alive anymore, but still alive in everybody's mind, right? And then